This program brought to you by Inglis. The Inglis Easter Yearling Sale, Riverside Stables, April 6 and 7.
Hello, I'm Caroline CSE. Welcome to part one of the 2021 Inglis Easter Yearling Sale preview. We're coming to you from the gorgeous Hunter Valley of New South Wales, where so many yearlings are currently being prepared to go under the hammer at Riverside on April 6 and 7. In this hour-long preview, we'll feature a number of leading hunter farms and their best of the best young horses bound for racetrack stardom. Next week, we'll feature more Hunter Valley farms, as well as travelling to the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. You'll see some wonderful vision of the horses destined to be the champions we cheer for, and we start with regular leading vendor, the incredible champion producing Arrowfield Stud. John and Paul Massara's Arrowfield Stud has a remarkable reputation for producing the champions of the track, and year after year their stallions top the sires lists as well. Let's have a look at some select members of the Arrowfield Stud draft for Inglis Easter 2021. Coming to see these yearlings here at Arrowfield Stud leading into Inglis Easter every year is just such a thrill. These wonderful pedigrees that go on and achieve so much greatness on the racetrack. And again, you've had a stellar year with your graduates.
Yes, it's been a great year, Caroline. The horses have put their best foot forwards on the racecourse for us. Fantastic that we've been able to race, of course, with everything that's going on globally. But yeah, it's been a great year, and we're very excited going into the autumn carnival now.
Well, we're going to focus on 4 stunning yearlings by your 3-time now champion sire in the Great Snitzel. But, you know, looking at some of the results that he's had recently, you know, Volpine winning the Winona Girl, Wild Ruler winning the Fireball, then you go back through, you know, the away game, I'm Excited, the Galaxy, Splintex. I mean, just wonderful record. He just keeps on building on.
He is Mr. Consistent, isn't he? And with Volpine and Wild Ruler, that was his 8th stakes double. Sydney alone, he's got 27 in his career that he's done it, but he is Mr. Consistent. And I think when you see his name in headlines every weekend, I don't want to use the word complacency, but it just becomes the norm almost. Yeah. But we know with Snitzel and where he's at in his career, with some better mares coming through, and using him as a comparison to his father, Redute's Choice, as we all know, was just an absolute amazing stallion. That he's going to do he's following a very similar path to Redute's Choice. You know, don't forget that towards the end of Redute's career, when he was 19, 20 and 21 years of age, he left the Autumn Sun Alabama Express and the King's Legacy, of course. So, you know, we can see very clearly that Snitzel is leaving the same pattern. He's following the path of his father. So, you know, what's ahead is still very exciting.
Well, it certainly is. When you look at the mares in particular, look, he's had these gun mares for a long time, but this is just the creme de la creme. The first one we look at here for Inglis Easter 21 is lot 45 from Rising Romance, just an outstanding looking colt. And this is a really interesting cross. The dam was a star Kiwi filly. She won the AJC Oaks. She was second in another 6 Group 1s, including the New Zealand Derby and the Caulfield Cup, just a superstar. But she's by Ekra, who's a Red Ransom half-brother to Hassanay, who we know works so well with this sire line. And what a cracker of a yearling he is.
And it's that Roberto cross again as well, which was responsible for Estijar. But he, as you said, he's an outstanding type. You know, a lot of good judges out there. He'll be easily spotted. He's a bit of a standout horse. He's got that symmetry. He's got that beautiful slant to his shoulder, and you know, great length from his hip. Really moves along nicely. And at the sales, you don't always get the benefit with all the hustle and bustle that's going on around. But in a quiet environment on the farm, when you watch him walk out, like you have this morning, Caroline, you can see the rhythm that he's got. You know, when he walks, he's very rhythmical, and it's a lovely sound just to hear him walk. Now that may sound a bit, you know, a bit odd to say that, but
That's important, yeah.
Very good horses often have that really nice rhythmic walk, and he really uses himself, lovely loose moving action.
The proven race mares, you know, they really do. There's a bit of a misconception, some of them don't leave horses as good as themselves. They really do, 9 times out of 10, but they obviously don't get as many opportunities as the stallions. But this is a fabulous mare producing a wonderful looking colt.
Absolutely, and as we all know, all of us in this game, the horse game, there are no certainties, but what you can do is increase your probabilities. So, you know, with a pedigree like that and the looks to match, you know, you're really getting closer, you would hope, to getting that result that you really want to achieve. Just generally when horses are sold and they make a lot of money, that they go on to perform on the race course. Estajab's an obvious one there. It's just reassuring to everyone, all of the breeders, that, you know, you can get those results. It's very satisfying.
And it is trial and error, isn't it, in the industry? You're really trying to match up the mares with these gun stallions too that really work. And I tell you what, this filly does. Lot 344 by Snitzel from Iffraanesia. The dam by Iffraanesia, she's a wonderful sire of sires and broodmare sire. The dam was a 9-time winner, a stakes winner in France, so obviously one tough race filly. And this is typical of the top Snitzel fillies that you'll see. Really sensible, with her ears pricked and beautifully put together. And wow, that action she has is superb.
And the temperament too. You know, it's something that a lot of agents and prospective buyers focus on, is the mental demeanour of these horses. And as you've seen this morning, Caroline, she just takes it all in a stride. Beautiful, loose moving, very well proportioned, strong filly. She's been beautiful from day one. Quite often foals, as people know that breed horses, they're born beautiful, but then they can go through a little bit of an awkward stage and then they come back to being lovely. But she has just been so consistent all the way through her development. She's been trouble-free, just a beautiful filly. And as you say, you know, it's a European, very good European family. And for those pedigree buffs out there, if they look in her pedigree, they'll see a very good horse in there called the Summit, who's by a horse that is going to become an interest to us all down here in Australia next season in Wootton Bassett. So the Iffraanesia, it's bred on a similar cross there. The mare's bred on a similar cross, and with Snitzel on top, you know, you've got every chance of having a very good racehorse with this girl.
10 out of 10, Carry On Alice breaks their hearts again.
The next is lot 236 by again Snitzel from Carry On Alice. This colt's dam was just a champion sprinter in South Africa by the star South African stallion in Captain Al. She was just a sensation. I don't think people in Australia really realise the record she had as such an absolute speedster. This is just her first foal, and he's just a stunning, powerful sort of boy with that great musculature and a fabulous action to really give him a chance of being a good racehorse.
Well, Carry On Alice was South African racing royalty. We had Winks and they had Carry On Alice. Yeah. She won 11 starts, 5 of them at Group 1 level, so she was very special, and she retired as champion sprinter and champion older mare. So fantastic mare, and again, pedigree buffs. It's the Roberto line again. Captain Al was one of their champion stallions in South Africa, and bred on the Roberto line. So that and a mixture of Snitzel, we know that it's a winning recipe, that one.
And as I said, a first foal. I mean, you know, she's just thrown this absolute cracker.
He's a real oil painting, isn't he? You really wouldn't see a better first foal, and he'll stand out. He's just got a beautiful physique. He's beautifully symmetrically balanced. He walks. He uses himself very well. When he walks off, and he just slightly lowers as he walks away. You know, I love to see that with horses. It shows that they're really striding out and using themselves. He's been, again, a very straightforward individual throughout his development, but a very good first foal. It's always reassuring, especially the investment in a mare like that, and also the boldness to bring her to Australia, to breed her, that you can get such a good first foal. It bodes well for her future. He's a very exciting horse.
And finally here, a filly I've just been dying to see, absolutely dying to. Lot 455 by Snitzel from Norzita, the champion 3-year-old. Of course, she won the Flight Stakes in the spring, the Vinery Stud Stakes, and you know, just a wonderful mare by Thorne Park. He was a champion New Zealand sire who has some great sire sons. Her son Carif, a really promising stayer on the rise, racing in the best company, a Sandown Cup winner in the spring, and her other son Confident, already a 2-time winner for Lindsay Park too. But just a really special filly, this one, isn't she? She's a lovely girl. Of course, Norzita was bought by Arrowfield for $1.7 million at the Inglis chairman's sale in 2019. So, you know, there's so much expectation. Sadly, she's no longer with us, but great expectation. She lives right up to it.
Yes, she's certainly got the looks to match the page. Obviously, again, when you invest that sort of money in a brood mare, it's nice when you get this sort of a result. We had to show her to you this morning, Caroline, because I know you always ask about her. She's one of your favourites. But yeah, she's again been a very straightforward horse throughout her development. She really uses herself well. You know, she's very correct, and you know, with the page and Carif doing his bit on the track really helps things along. Sadly, as you said, she's no longer with us, but thankfully we have a very nice the Autumn Sun filly coming through as well. But this yearling, she really, you know, she's been very straightforward throughout the prep. She's taken everything in her stride. Again, that's something that prospective clients like to see, is this mental toughness, and she's just thrived. We're really happy with her.
You can see the absolute perfection, the standards here at Arrowfield Stud, with your staff, with your management, with the horses, the way they're looked after and educated. There's so much riding on it, isn't there, going down to Inglis Easter every year, and the staff have done a fabulous job again with these yearlings.
I say it every year, it's all down to the staff. You know, people say we're in a horse business, yes we are, but we're also in a people business, and really we're only as good as our staff. Happy staff, happy horses. But the real art, led by our yearling director, Nigel Bentley, is getting these horses ready for the day. You know, flowers don't all bloom at the same time, but what he's actually trying to do is get all of these horses to bloom on the day, ready for the sales, and he's doing a marvellous job. The team are just so dedicated. You know, nobody wears a watch. They just come in, when the job's done, then they go home. You know, they're so invested in these horses. So yeah, you know, without them, we wouldn't be in the position we are.
Big footsteps to fill though, all these yearlings, aren't there?
We do feel the pressure a little bit, you know. They are a very special group of horses, and you know, this is a culmination of Arrowfield's 30 years. It just doesn't happen, you know. It's taken 30 years of breeding and refinement of the breed, and to get this group of horses together. They're a very special bunch of horses, they really are.
Some magnificent yearlings, as always, at Arrowfield Stud. Coming up after the break, the majesty of the thoroughbred in full flight as we bring you our popular Widden Stud segment of the Inglis Easter Yearling Sale preview, Footloose and Fancy Free.